Ho, ho, ho. It's holiday time, which means it's time for inappropriate jokes. So if you're in the New York City area, come check out our Hack City comedy show happening December 16th, 7:30 p.m. at Union Hall in Brooklyn. Tickets available in the episode description or by visiting AsianNotAsianPod.com. See you hoes there.
Owen Gray is his name.
Who recently released this thing where he was like, guys, I want to come out as an ally, and I'm gonna start fucking trans women too, which I think is hilarious because it's just wow, amazing. This guy's like, hey, me and this dick are gonna fuck more beautiful women. You're welcome.
And welcome back to another episode of Asian Not Asian Podcast, a podcast where two Asian guys enough from Asia talk about American issues no American cares about. I'm your host, Fumi Abe.
And I'm Mike Nguyen.
Today's Saturday, December 4th. We hope this podcast finds you on the floor with something fun up your butt.
If you've got something on the floor and up your butt, tell us. Leave a review on... Tell us, leave a review if you're on the podcast app. Hit 5 stars and leave a review. Let us know what you got up there. You know,
what you got up there.
If you're on YouTube, subscribe and check us out and leave a comment. People aren't really leaving comments on there, so
no, I'd love to hear.
They are. I'd like to see more. I'd love to see more.
Check the YouTube.
I do check the YouTube, but they never do the thing I tell them to do.
Yeah, I know. I think they just want to discuss what's happening in the episode, which I think makes more sense, but I see what you're saying.
This is not discussion section, okay? All right, you want to get your MFA, go do that someplace else. But in the meantime, if you're on Spotify, hit follow and tell all your friends, homies. Real quick up top. I hope you don't zoom past this, but if you want to see Fumi and I, do comedy, because it's a thing we do, and you're in San Francisco or in the San Francisco Bay Area or in California, we're going to be at SF SKETCHFEST.
Yes. We'll be there on January 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and a Saturday. Just go to the just Google SF SKETCHFEST and find our names. And we're doing a bunch of different shows. Mike is doing a bunch of different shows. I'm headlining 2 shows at the Punchline on Saturday at 7:30 and 9:30, I want to say, or maybe it's 8 and 10. I don't know, but I would love to pack that place out with anals. I think we have anals up there, so we'd love to see you. I'm co-headlining with somebody else who's not an Asian comedian, but I would love the entire venue to just be Asian.
The whole thing,
just confuse the hell out of everybody involved.
Just absolutely, yeah. And we're probably going to try to set up a little hangout, so stay posted on that. And we'd love to meet all you guys. So it'll be nice to finally see everybody after all these fucking years, and it'll be fun.
Hell yeah. And before we start the show, we always do a shout out to our Patreon subscribers. What is Patreon? It is the best way to support the podcast. We're a completely independent operation. We don't get paid to do any of this shit, but we do make money from your generous donations. So if you like what you've been hearing the last couple of years, if you're liking the stuff we've been putting down, please consider go to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod and consider donating. There's different levels. You don't have to give, you can give $100 if you want. You can give $5 if you want, whatever you want. And depending on how much you give, you get different rewards like bonus episodes. We slide into your DMs. But everybody at the very least will get a shout out on this podcast where we try to guess your ethnicity based on your last name. So here we go. The newest people for this week. I hate it when people fucking do this. They don't put their last name, so it's really hard. Alicia. Alicia.
Oh my gosh. This is like, when you play like Wheel of Fortune and they got like the whole, it's like the final round and they go, okay, I will take J, L, T, and I, and you get one T that's like at the very end of the word and you're like, motherfucker.
Yo, you know how I think this is? I don't even think this is, I think this person might be Alicia Keys. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, I agree.
I think
it's Alicia Keys. It's Alicia Keys.
It's Alicia Keys. It has to be. Thank you so much in New York. I don't know.
Yeah,
we love
huge
you.
Fan.
We love you.
Yeah,
huge
great.
fan.
Thank you very much.
My boo, one of my go-to songs when I want to make love. Okay, so moving on, we have Alice. Just Alice.
Another one. God damn it. Wow. Just like in Wheel of Fortune, sometimes you just gotta like just talk it out. I want to say Alice. Alice Kombucha. Aha. Alice Kombucha. That's what I'm thinking.
What's Alice Kombucha?
And what do you... Alice Kombucha. I'm just saying it. I'm just making up a name for this person. Because Alice Kombucha.
Alice, I think Alice is Chinese. Alice is a hot Chinese girl's name.
Oh yeah, Kombucha is her middle name.
Yeah, for sure.
It's Alice Kombucha Chen Hot. She's
surfer.
Definitely
hot. Not as hot as Alicia Keys, but that's okay because
that's okay.
You're not a famous singer. It's okay.
Yeah, I follow Alice. Yeah.
And next we have Kat Tabuchi, Tabuchi. That is Japanese. Although I've never met a Tabuchi. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. That's it sounds like a cute what is that like creature? It's like a raccoon, but it can turn into different things. Tanuki?
Oh, Tanuki. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Yes.
This is I think
it's
this
like
is
that, but with a
one
bee.
of those. I think it's one of those. I think it's a raccoon that's transformed
Japanese American person
into and transformed into a Patreon supporter. So thank you very much.
Yes, thanks.
Great.
And last but not least, we have Maxwell Tang, Tang.
I think this is good old. I'm gonna say Chinese, right?
Chinese, yeah. Maxwell is.
Can I say that this guy? That's a fucking name. That's a
cassette tape. Remember that cassette tape brand in the 90s? Maxwell?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. This guy bangs, okay? He wears a lot of black.
Yeah.
And yeah, he plays jazz and it's great.
He's a jazz Chinese Asian.
Yes.
Anyways, thank you so much for donating. And if you want to get in on this, please go to patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod and please consider giving us some of your hard-earned money. Moving on to how we always start the show. On this podcast, we attempt to figure out what it means to be Asian American because it's so goddamn confusing. So we always like to start the show by asking each other what kind of Asians we were this week. So Mike, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was a VSA Asian. VSA is Vietnamese Student Association. And so I got to do a Zoom show. Those are still happening, apparently. I did a Zoom show for the VSA at Baruch College, which is
New York.
Yeah, a New York school. It's a New York college. And I did this, they had a culture show. And this was cool. I don't know if this is normally how they do culture shows, but I mean, I could have a whole podcast on Vietnamese culture shows and how hilarious they are because it's always like, okay, we're going to do a dance where people are pretending they're in the rice paddy and there's a water buffalo. And then after that, right after that, I swear to God, hip hop dance. And then it goes back to, okay, traditional fan dance and it's the colonial Vietnamese times. And then right after that is like sexy jazz and it's like all over the place. But this VSA culture show, they were nice enough to have me on. One thing that was real interesting. Okay, I've been to a bunch of different VSA things. I've like visited, when I was a student or whatever. Always be Vietnamese people there, mad Vietnamese people there. Sometimes there'd be a couple of not Vietnamese people there. But this VSA, there were a lot, but there were tons of non-Vietnamese Asian people like in the crowd, quote unquote, the crowd, and also just like in their like as officers in the club, like the treasurer or whatever the heck it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I was like, there's like Korean people, there's Chinese people. I didn't know this happened. And I thought for a while that maybe this was one of those Vietnamese culture shows where they don't have Vietnamese people and they just going to have one Vietnamese comedian to look at because they just want to appreciate a Vietnamese person, which I thought was cute.
So you're like a shrine.
It's like, here we have a real live Vietnamese guy. Go ahead and ask him to swear in Vietnamese. So it was cool. They were real nice. They were real sweet. And shouts if you're a not Vietnamese person in VSA, because I don't know what you're doing there, but I hope you're having fun. I have no idea.
Now let me ask you something. Did that make you feel good? Because the way I'm hearing you talk about it, it feels like the underlying messages. I didn't know y'all fucked with us. Is what you're trying to say?
Yes,
you're right.
That's like exactly
I didn't know you thought we were cool. But you were just there's Korean people here? Like, you guys got your own thing, but you're going to take time from your day. You're going to take a break from BTS and come hang out with Dr.
Absolutely. I used to think, this is a real fucked up thing. This is some real talk here. I used to be like, I never wanted to be white, but I always thought, man, I wish I was kind of another Asian. because there were other Asians. I thought other Asians were cooler than Vietnamese. This is how I don't even call this racism. This is like some sort of intra-colonial mindset.
It's definitely racism is part of it. It's the Asian hierarchy that was created by
the Asian hierarchy, right? Yeah. I was like, I wish I was like, like Japanese people got manga and Chinese people, they got like this or whatever. And I was like, I didn't know Vietnamese people, Vietnamese people were just sort of like doing their own thing. But now I guess Vietnamese people are cool. And I'm like, this is insane. So
it makes sense
shouts to VSA.
It makes sense because guns are coming back. So
yeah, you know what it is? Yeah, it's exactly. It's coups are real big, and they're like, who's real good at
and y'all are really good at coups.
Vietnamese people love coups, baby. Hey, we're cuckoo for coups. Okay,
God.
We're cuckoo for coups.
Cuckoo for coups.
Cuckoo for coups.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Man.
The Vietnamese cereal.
Yeah. What's the toy in this cereal? It's a gun. It's just
a gun.
Yeah.
It's a Desert Eagle.
Yeah. Oh, it's an AK-47. So okay. All right, Fumi. How about you? What kind of Asian were you this week?
Dude, this week I was a medical Asian. Okay.
Medical Asian.
This is what happened. I moved to LA, and when you move to a different city, the worst part is like finding a new doctor, finding a new dermatologist, GI, all that shit. Because it's just annoying. You had a guy and now you don't, and you get to find somebody who's in your insurance. And it took me a little while. Finally found somebody. It was under like the UCLA. Yeah, that's right. I put you on fucking blast, UCLA. It was under like the UCLA umbrella, which is like I thought it was supposed to be good. It's a good school. I was like, okay, I trust this.
So
yeah. So I didn't go to UCLA campus. It's like I don't know. It's branded under UCLA. NYU has
it's like their big medical thingy thing.
Yeah. So I go to the thing. It's close to where I live. I'm just going for a physical. I haven't gotten one in a little bit because of COVID, and I haven't just wanted to go out. And the doctor was fine until when he was about to leave. He was like, "Oh, by the way, before I leave, I can check your testicles and your rectum if you want. Like, if you want, I can do this for you." And I was like,
"That's nice of him."
Well, like, should we do it? Like, I don't know. Like, is that a good? Do you want that data point? I was being completely like, I wasn't even being funny. I was like, well, if that's something that you typically do with patients, I would like to do that.
Right.
And he goes. I swear to God, he goes, yeah, I'm personally like, I don't really like doing it, but we can do it if you want. And I was like,
he said that?
Yeah,
he said he doesn't like doing it?
He's like, I don't like doing it. And I'm like, yeah, nobody likes doing it. Like, that would be weird if you liked doing it, if you became a doctor so you can touch strangers' balls. That's fucking weird. And I
mean, at the very least, I mean, it's weird that he admitted that he does, it's like, it's icky, like.
Yeah, he was really giving off like 7th grade boy vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't want to see your penis. Also, like, it's so weird because I'm like 32 now. Like, there is nothing special or weird happening down there. It is such a regular situation that, like, it's
so chill.
It's what you're gonna see in the textbooks. So, like, I don't know what this attitude was about. And so I had him do it. I was like, well, let's just do it, So, like, so I had him do it, and he makes me do the cough thing. I never understood what the cough thing is. Like, I don't know what they were checking. So he does my right side, he does my left side, and for the first time in my life, he goes, "Wait, can you cough again?" And so he makes me do it again, and then like it's over, and then he goes, "Yeah, you probably have a hernia on your left side."
Wow.
That's what I said. You probably have a hernia on your left side. And like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a bio major. I don't know. That word sounds very scary to me. So I'm like, okay, like, that sounds bad. Like, should we take care of it? Like, what do we do? And he's like, well, a lot of people have hernias, and if you don't feel any pain, it's really not that big of a deal. But it sounds like you just dropped this big word on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like scared, right? So I'm like, yeah, like, what, can you tell me more? And he was like, at the end, I swear to God, he like channeled his Larry. He honestly sounded like Larry David. He was like, yeah, you got it. You got the hernia. He started shrugging. He was shrugging. He was like, yeah, you got the hernia.
No, yes, hernia, no hernia,
and I was
left
like,
side, right side.
I was like, is this how fucking doctors talk now? Like, this is so inappropriate. I fucking hate it when doctors are chill about shit because... Okay, this is the same. I'm not shaming anyone with herpes, but like doctors got really chill with herpes in the last 5 years, and like I know it's not fatal, and I'm not shaming everybody, but I feel like when patients are scared, we get tricked into living healthier lives, and I like that.
I see.
So I need you to be a little bit more of a doctor and be like, well, you have hernia, which means like one of your like part of your large intestines is like coming out of place, and it could squish a different part of organ, and that could really hurt. Like, I need him to say this to me so that I could like live a healthier life. But he was just like, yeah, you got it. I don't know. He was like, he was like a lot of athletes have. He was like trying to sell it to me like it's a fucking shit, like a real estate. You know, it was like, I don't just like the whole experience was. Yeah, you got a great one-bedroom hernia here in the corner of West Hollywood.
Did the music start?
Yeah. But like, it was just so weird that I had to ask him. And that's the other thing is like, I feel like I'm old enough that I remember when I was in 7th grade when doctors would do like the ball test thing. I'm sure there's a better word for it, but the ball check thing. I'd be like, ugh, like this old man's touching my balls. But now that I'm 32, like, you know, it's just like I need you to look inside my ass because I need answers. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of questions, and I need someone to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, their answers are somewhere. They're not in my life. They might be in my butt.
That's exactly.
Just hello. Is there anything down there? And it's just Larry David who's like, nothing here, guys. Just a bagel.
Just
wow.
The sheet of paper that says daddy issues. Yeah.
It gets so weird. I mean, I feel there's a certain kind of middle, not even, I don't want to say middle age, but like middle between ages when you're not like a young guy, but you're not like an older person who may have to worry about a lot of different things, where the doctor is sort of like, you don't know how to approach it because he could drop a weird bomb on you like that, like, oh, you got a hernia, or he could just be like, whatever, you know. Like, I remember for a while, I once, you know, maybe when I was 30, I went in there and I was like, okay, you need to check my balls, you know, like, just check them out. Yep. And, you know, he's like, well, you know, you're 30 now, so you don't really have the risk of having testicular cancer. And I had never thought I would be sad to age out of cancer, but I was like, damn, that's like a young man's game. That's a young man's game. Yeah. You know, I'm too old for testicular cancer. So, but you know, because when you're in your 20s, you know, generally, you know, hopefully you're healthy. And a lot of times the doctor comes in and they don't even check. Like, I once had a thing and the guy was like incredulous. He's like, okay, so you're, you know, 26. Do you know, anything hurting? And I was like, no. He's like, all right, see you later. He just like didn't even want to talk to me because he just was like, so he's like, get out of here. But now, you know, now he's coming in, he's asking you questions. He's got all sorts of things. I want to know, how did you get your hernia? Do you know? Is it just something you had?
First of all, I had it. I had like a surgery when I was like 5, so maybe I'm prone to it. But also like, it comes from like squeezing your abdomen a lot, and that's why athletes have it. I don't know. I'm making this up, but like maybe you just get it from doing crunches or something. I have no fucking idea. I don't even exercise, but like,
I was gonna say you don't do crunches.
I'm prone to it, but I also like I shit a lot, and so I think I'm always just like. You know me. Remember me? I think that's how a lot of people get it. That's how a lot of people get anal fissures from like shit trying to shit too much. Yeah, sitting on the toilet too much. Yeah, I've got one of those too.
You're an athlete, bro. Okay.
Yeah,
you're
my
a toilet athlete
in Olympic athlete shape. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, but anyways, I would love to ask our guest, you know, what kind of Asian she's been this week. Our guest this week. So excited to have her on. Hung out with her last night. Got drunk with her. It was a wild time.
Oh, that's fun.
And honestly, like, you know me, I've been depressed in LA, and it was really nice just getting out and hanging out. So our guest this week, she's a comedian. She's Insta famous. You may have known her from her TikToks or her Instagram videos. They're so funny. She's also an illustrator and a musician. Wow, Renaissance comedian. Give it up for the hilarious Dylan McKeever.
Hi guys. So what an honor to join this conversation about Fumi's 72-year-old anal fissures.
We thought 72-year-old anal fissures, who would be perfect for this week.
Thank you.
We thought Dylan.
I'm so happy
Welcome.
to be here. Wow.
Dylan, let's just kick it off. What kind of Asian were you this week?
I've been the overworked Asian this week.
Yeah.
You know, a classic. A classic stereotype. I haven't had like a real job in like 2.5 years. I've just sort of been surfing from like random contract thing to random contract thing. And I just got this 40-hour per week job and I don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I just like can't stay focused or like create boundaries for like how long I'll work. I'll just be like, oh yeah, like I wake up, I turn on the computer and I just go till like the sun goes down and like it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like still trying to like write stuff. I don't know.
What is the gig?
I'm a creative producer.
You're not allowed to say. Oh, okay.
For this TikTok channel. Yeah, but
that's cool.
I'm not used to writing so much, or I'm not used to working. I don't know. It's making me realize how unnatural it is. Like
it's weird. It's weird too to like you're supposed to be like a creative person, and usually that's like you work when you kind of get inspired, but then now you have like a corporate creative thing. That's a big theme of this podcast is like, okay, here's be creative and you start exactly at 9:15 and you go until 5 and that's your creative hours.
Totally. And they want like a lot. They're like, all right, new idea every day. And I'm like, guys, I'm not that funny.
It is weird to like do, because even like I have a cubicle, and I write jokes from my cubicle, and I never thought that was like gonna be my life. But it is weird to like people chasing jobs out there in comedy or whatever it is. It all goes back to the cube, man. The cube, dude.
Yeah. Well, are you by yourself in the cube, just trying to write jokes?
I mean, there are other cubes around me. There's like there's like 8 cubes in our office, or like in our wing of the office. But yeah, I mean, like the cube is on my own.
Can I ask? Do you for either of you, are you guys writing on a PC? Because I'm trying to imagine you booting up Windows like 95 or whatever and going, time for some creativity,
I bring my own computer, so we have Macs, but like we do use Google Docs a lot, which like, I gotta say, I don't know if this any workers out there can relate to this. Do you find that the application you're using your computer affects your creativity? I could never. For sure. I used to write stuff in an email, blank Outlook email thing, because I felt more creative there.
Yeah.
I felt less restricted. I could never write anything on a Microsoft Word. It felt so like, because this reminds me of like college and essays and MLA style.
Yeah. Anything that's in New Times Roman is not funny. You gotta change the font is the first thing. Yeah. Arial or nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That Outlook window though, that's where it's at. I might try that.
That was that for me when I had a PC when I was working like a regular job. But now like Google Docs, I don't know, there's just something about like Word with like, all like the options up top, and it just makes me not want to do anything remotely innovative or creative, if that makes sense.
I gotcha. What's your job, Mike?
Yeah. I'm also like a corporate creative person. Do you know what I'm saying? So honestly, sometimes I write inside of Excel.
Whoa!
And
what?
Yeah, because so much. I mean, I'm sure that is like this for you guys. Like, you write stuff where it needs to like be bucketed. It's not just like, here's an open-ended joke.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have these 5 pillars we need to write. There are themes, and then each of these themes needs to be short, medium, and long. And so like you're fucking making a fucking a pivot table of jokes, and you've got like an X and a Y column, and you're like, okay, and then you've got multiple tabs that are like, for doing different things, because I don't know, like so much of creativity is, I don't know how you both feel, but I feel like so much of creativity is actually just like set up all the parameters and then fill in the blank. Does that make sense?
Yes. Totally.
It's just fill in the blank,
Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice for dealing because you've been doing that job for a while, are you now at a point where you can turn on that creative switch from 9 to 5 and turn it off, or like is it just always the same?
I will stop, but I don't know how people, Dylan, I don't relate at all to working until 10, because at 5 o'clock I'm done. I'm like, dude, I'm tired. I don't know how people if you guys are able to work until like really late, I just feel like I just don't have that much. I can only squeeze so much out of it.
Well, yeah. I'm also like unfocused all day, So like
Yes.
5 p.m. rolls around and I'm like, I haven't done anything, but I've sort of
Oh shit.
but I've like been in front of the computer, like supposedly working.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The work from home stuff is also like I'm not used to like
you're
making
working
my
from
own
home.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
making my own I don't know, schedule.
Do you relate at all to like when, our sort of odd doctor stories of like, 30s in your 30s and you go to the doctors and it's like, I just kind of want to just open it up there.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I've been a sickly person my whole life, so
yeah,
I'm used to going to the doctor. Yeah.
Really?
I had a bunch of like kidney problems when I was a kid, and
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm used to going to the doctor and like dealing with insurance stuff and setting up appointments. But I have gotten to the point where like I recently had this like bump in my mouth.
Oh shit.
And I like went to the dentist and they're like, that's normal. It's fine. Like
What?
like that's fine. And they're like, I was like, should I do anything? And they're like, no, that's just, you're getting older. You make bumps now. Your body makes bumps.
Dude, I think that is so. There's just a general thing where your body is making more bumps.
Yeah.
in your mouth,
It's
on
like
your
it's
hands.
like I don't get acne anymore, but
Yes.
it's like manifesting in different ways.
Do you think that like if there's any doctors listening, please tell us like what is up with that attitude? Like I just feel like even if you do get bumps, you should fucking explain it to us. Like what are these bumps? What is the cause? Like do other people
how many
get
bumps
them?
is too many bumps?
How many bumps is too many bumps?
12,
Like
13.
it's
Yeah.
just so crazy to me that you can just show up and they drop some news on you like you're gonna deal with bumps for the rest of your fucking life, and then they're like that'll be $30, and that's like so great. Like there's no explanation, and I had this realization that when I went to the doctors in my 20s, like again, they wouldn't really check anything, or they were just like you're fine. But now I realize every year when I go to the physical, like they're probably just gonna continue to drop more news for me because as I get older, like just more things are gonna go wrong, and that made me so sad. And actually, when he told me about the hernia, I actually started getting nauseous because I was like in my head about like what this could mean, and it was like really really scary.
How's your pooping going? Are you gonna strain less?
Yeah, I've been like more conscious about it, but he said you can't fix a hernia unless you just get surgery. So there's no.
Oh shit!
It
Word?
doesn't get better.
That's what they told me about my bump too. They're like you could get surgery, but what's the point?
But even that attitude, they're like, even the surgery, like I wanted an answer from him. Like I wanted him to be like, you should get surgery. Here's a doctor you can go to. But he didn't. He was like, yep, you can do it if you want. It's a lot of if you wants.
If you want,
It's like
I didn't go to medical school. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many. I can't stress this enough. Like I write jokes about how Biden eats ice cream for a living. Like I don't know how to take care of my body. So I don't know. It was just it was weird, man. I don't know. Do you have any stories like that, Mike?
You know what it is too. So you just mentioned this. Like you can't fix it unless you can't fix the hernia unless you get surgery. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, I can handle it. I just don't want it to get worse. Will it get worse? And if they're like, yeah, it'll be fine, and that's okay. So I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm not even trying to fix anything. I'm just keeping anything that happens to me from getting worse. Like that. I've like lowered my standard. I'm like, I'm not trying to be healthy anymore. I'm just trying to be passable. That's good enough for me. Will I pass? So
Pass as
I don't know.
As an alive person.
As an alive person, if a lay person sees me and and just does a quick scan, do I pass as a non-cadaver? That's like what I'm trying to do.
I think that's a good goal to have.
It's a pretty good goal. I mean, I want to hear a little bit about you both hanging out because I'm jealous of whenever people have a good time without me. But I wanted to just first like Dylan, for our fans, like what's your deal?
About?
What are you about? What are you about?
What am I about? I don't know.
You used to work in tech? You were like a tech person?
I did. I worked in tech for 3 years, and it was awful, but it paid so much. And I don't know. How old are you, Mike? Are you 30s?
I'm in my 40s, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost there too. But like, I graduated right into the recession
Yep.
It's like when I graduated.
Yep.
And I just had like a decade of basically not having, like, just like struggling to get work.
Yes.
So I got I got this tech job, and I was like, oh, like, this is amazing. Like, they're gonna pay me $40,000 a year. Like, incredible.
Yeah.
Never seen that kind of money before.
Absolutely. Continue. I want to hear your story, but I want to come back to that point for a second.
Yeah, I was like over the moon. I was like, $40,000. Like, I can't believe it.
Yes.
I later learned that like engineers right out of college at the same company made like $150,000 starting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I was like, what the fuck?
For sure. There is this weird thing where if I've read all these stories about it, and I'm so glad. I've been meeting so many young people, so thank God you're like a regular millennial.
Yeah.
At the VSA show, they were millennial shaming me like a motherfucker.
How?
These guys, they were just saying, at one point, we were playing a word game. Like, I volunteered to play a word game with them. And in the chat, like in the Zoom chat, they're like, let's get this millennial, this whole time. Like I was like a Frankenstein,
Anyways, war out there, man. Yeah,
it's crazy. No, they were real sweet, but like Dylan, I'm the same as you. I graduated. I'm a little older than you, but I do feel for like, I swear to God, like 5 years after I graduated, I was just like floating around. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was happy if I was like, oh, I have this job as a word processor, like, just like whatever random temp job. I feel for a while like tech it was a thing, but it wasn't like a thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't the next big industry, and you were just kind of like, I have a random degree from a random college, and I'm just gonna do whatever. And I feel like a lot of people in our generation were just like, we just kind of were, all right, I'll just do this. And I remember I got paid $40,000, 42, and I was like, oh my God, I'm rich now. Like I got so much money. I can buy like a spare tire for my bike. It's great.
Totally. I'm like, I can buy like socks without holes in them. Like, what amazing.
Do you think like, I never thought about that, Mike, because I know your story, and I know you were like trying to figure things out, like career wise, what you wanted to do, but I never attributed it to the recession. Is this a common story among people your age and your peers who you graduated with, you think?
Yeah, wait, this didn't happen to you, Fumi? You just like shut up?
I graduated after. So when I graduated,
that's true. Okay.
Things were chill.
Yeah,
I graduated in 2012.
Where did you go to school, Dylan? I mean, like what
I went to
area?
I went to UC Santa Cruz. Which says a lot. Well, it was also like applying to college at the time. People were just like, yeah, just do whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what your major is. You'll have a job. There was like no talk of like what happens after you graduate. Like people were like, I studied English literature because I liked reading. That was like
yeah.
And then after the recession happened, everyone's like, you gotta do STEM. You need to have money.
Yeah,
like
STEM.
Don't like liberal arts are terrible. So yeah, that's what I guess it happened between like me and Fumi's ages.
Yeah, I feel like so much of your life is shaped by all these like weird external factors. Like where did you live at this exact moment in the economic cycle? Because like if you live in, maybe not right now, but like if you graduate, like basically you, Fumi, like if you graduated in 2012 right in New York City, the economy is like shooting up. And like tech is like a thing now. It's a thing. That's like that's so important because if you when I graduated and I lived in California, Southern California, there's not any jobs like that are, I don't know how to say this, like I just tried to name jobs off the top of my head, and one of them, like literally, just name jobs. Like now it's a thing to be like, I'm a product designer, or I'm a product manager at Google. That's like a thing, But when I graduated, it was like I am an insurance adjuster because I thought like the fifth job I could name.
Yeah,
I have such that was like it.
I have such like a limited imagination where I can only like think of jobs that I see where I'm like, I see some guy like installing like a vending machine, and I'm like, and I'm like, oh, that maybe maybe they'll let me do that. I don't know. Like maybe
When I first moved to New York City, I saw that there were people who were working in the bodega, like making breakfast sandwiches. And I was like, I bet you those guys make good money. I had no idea about like, oh, I'm going to go on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like,
wow.
There's a job. I'll take that.
That's so
totally.
funny. It was like LinkedIn, but life. You just see people's jobs and you're like, can I do that maybe?
you because that's really what it is, right? You know, if I had known, I knew some people who worked at Google, but to your point, they were engineers, right? I didn't know that you could work at Google as a non-STEM person, you know?
I didn't either.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I had like a huge complex about it where I'm like, I'm not smart enough to work in tech. Like,
oh my gosh.
I only know how to write some words down and play the drums. I don't know. Will you guys let me work there?
Listen, Mike, you know me on the podcast, I like to laugh like an insane person, spread joy through jokes and inappropriate comments. But is that how I feel on the inside in 2020? Absolutely not, Mike.
No, man.
It's a dark mess in here, dude. Sometimes I'm really sad. Sometimes I'm a little depressed. I'm really stressed, you know, and I think a lot of people with the pandemic, they're not really sure about job security, and that's a huge source of stress for a lot of people. And I think if any of our listeners feel this way, they should check out our sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
Connect in a safe and private online environment. It's so convenient.
You can start communicating in under 24 hours.
This isn't self-help, it's professional counseling.
Send a message to your counselor anytime.
You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions.
Woo! All without ever having to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room. You know how those waiting rooms can be, bro.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need it.
And it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available.
Licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem.
I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/Asian. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Asian.
Whoa, what was that? Dang, that's
what
crazy.
Is that sound?
It's nice.
It's the sound of another sale on Shopify, the all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big business, so upstarts, startups, and established businesses alike can sell everywhere, synchronized online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed.
Scaling your business is a journey of endless possibility. I love how Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed from down the street to around the globe. Like mine, Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses, from first sale to full scale.
Reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more.
Gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond.
More than a store, Shopify grows with you.
This is Possibility, powered by Shopify.
Go to shopify.com/Asian, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features.
Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/Asian right now.
Shopify.com/Asian.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about this, Dylan. This is something that happened to me recently. I wanted to talk about this with everybody. So this has nothing to do with anything we've been talking about, but I recently, stand-up in LA. First of all, let's start here. Stand-up in LA.
Here we go.
Is a disaster. Okay, like it's so hard to do it here. And yesterday, Dylan and I were like, let's go support this show because we want people to know who we are.
We didn't have any shows, and we're like, let's just go to a show.
Let's just go to a show.
That's nice.
Let's go to a
There you
cool
go.
show. So we went to a cool show.
Where was it at?
Where
was it?
The bar was called the Airliner, and I forgot my company credit card there, so I need to go over there later today. But
Where you were spending company money?
Yeah, we have a company.
We have company money.
We have
If
company
you want
money.
to support me getting,
You didn't buy me any
Paloma,
drinks.
Please go to
Wow.
Patreon.com. So we go there, and usually comedy shows, comedians can hang out in the back for free, but in LA they fucking charge you. So Dylan and I had to pay $15
Wow.
to see our fucking friends do comedy. Like,
Jeez.
just our friends, just people we know, no one
Yeah.
famous, just our friends. And as comedians, as Asians, we were so annoyed. Annoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Stop Asian hate, you know?
That was 100% Asian hate. But anyways,
Yeah.
So, wait, what was my point? Oh yeah, so I've been trying to hang out at more shows and stuff like that. And recently, I did a show at this place called, I don't want to name them actually because they booked me a lot, but I was doing this show at this place that's like kind of in the valley and a little, it gets a little problematic up there because of the audience are kind of dumb. And this is the place where I talked about this a couple weeks ago. This is the place where like I was doing a joke about like how I'm bad at sexting or like sending nudes, and the guy in the front was like, small dick. This is that place.
Way.
This is that place. So it's like already that's the context, right?
Is this a club? Is this a club?
It's a comedy
okay.
club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was there and I was doing a spot, and then after the show I run into like an old friend of mine from New York. She's also a comedian, and then I meet this other like newer comedian from Ohio or something, just a white guy who talks like a black guy there. And
classic.
So fucking weird.
An architect.
Classic guy from Ohio.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't remember what he said, but the three of us were talking. He said something to the extent of like, once you've seen one Asian comedian, you've seen them all, or something like that. I see. I wasn't listening because I'm tired. I'm 32. He's a new comedian. I don't really listen to new comedians. They have nothing, you know what I mean? Just because it's not that I'm being disrespectful. It's just like I just know too many comedians, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I feel like when I first started comedy, I was like, why is this guy who's been doing comedy for 8 years not talking to me? I realize now it's because it's like I don't know if you're serious or not. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're like in the game.
I can't invest in you.
Exactly. If you're serious about the game, then like we'll talk. But like I don't know. You're at this like weird club where they told me that I have a small dick, so I don't know how serious you are. I don't know how serious I am. So anyways, he like said something about Asian comedians, and my friend, they're both white. The girl is white. She's my friend, and the guy is white. And she was like, "Oh, that was weird." And so he like goes away. And then I go home, and my friend calls me later, and she's like, "Hey, that was really weird what he said to you, right? Like, that was really messed up what he said to you. That was really racist." And I'm like, "What did he say again?" Like, I don't even fucking remember. Because I try to, like, block a lot. This is just maybe me thing, other Asian people. Like, I just block a lot of that weird microaggression stuff.
Yeah, the weirdness about,
otherwise, I'm going to kill myself. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
so
that's just way too much.
My brain just, like, I have a barrier, and I block it out. Like, you really have to, like, kidnap my family and like slit my mom's throat in front of me or something, like to like really get my attention. So I was like, what the fuck did he say again? And then she went over what he said, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that was kind of weird. And she's like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And I was like, it's fine. She's like, but it's not fine. And I'm like, really, I'm trying to hang up because I'm sleepy. Like, it's fine. And whatever, we talk, and she goes, well, I just wanted to call you and make sure you're okay. And I'm like, all right, thanks, whatever. I hang up. A couple days later, I get a call from the same girl at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I did not pick up. I assumed it was like a butt dial. Oh. And then she texts me, and she's like, I have what she said here. She goes, yo, I called you last night to tell you I talked to that dude and told him I thought he made a rude racist remark, the one from Ohio we met at the insert venue. And he was super glad I was honest with him and was very apologetic and wanted to relay that to you. I just told him he rubbed me the wrong way and I was offended by his remarks to you, and he felt bad and was glad I opened his eyes to how wrong that was. So annoying. If you see him again, he will likely apologize. I ran into him randomly at whatever venue, and I couldn't not be honest with him. It actually ended up being a good conversation, and I'm glad I didn't bite my tongue. So she texted me this, and I just replied like, haha, sorry, I was on the East Coast and I got that call when I was sleeping, but thanks. But it's I don't know, I call this segment the white savior segment, but like, I don't know, what do you guys think about what happened? What are your first thoughts?
Well, whatever, you sound jaded in every kind of way. I don't know. It's kind of like whatever. It's such a like a whole thing where you just shrug your shoulders at the end, and you're like, well, like. There's also that classic, like, I don't know who says it, where it's like, it's a quote where it's like, it's Wednesday or something, or it's Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Where it's just like, this is just part of my life. Like, I know it's a big deal for you, like as a white person, to suddenly see this like racist situation.
Racism. Yeah.
But for me, it's Wednesday.
Well, what rubbed me the wrong way is like, it is just a Wednesday for me, but the follow-up made me reflect more on the interaction. And the fact that she was like, it ended up being a really good conversation. and all this stuff. And I'm like, did they fuck? Like, are people like cooking up because of?
Did they have a great first date because of this? Yeah.
Yeah, like there's something they're bonding over my racism. Is so fucking weird to me, you know.
It's just it is kind of funny why people. It's like it's not even really about the people of color. It's about the two white people like working it out, and like, you know, and hey, who knows? Maybe they're gonna get married. That's a beautiful way to. That's a real great meet cute. You know, he was at the other end of the bar being racist, and then I came over there and we had a nice chat.
I think if she didn't tell you what happened, that would be more ideal. To be like, I'm gonna deal with this, but I'm not gonna get the gratification of telling Fumi that I'm his little warrior.
That's an interesting way to say it.
She wanted me to be like, oh my god, thank you so much, like, for standing up for me. I think that's what she wanted, but I just gave her like a thanks, just like a quick note. And I think she didn't respond to that. I think you're exactly right.
Because I think confronting him is nice. Like, okay,
it is nice. It is nice. I something kind of like this happened. I was at a show. It wasn't necessarily. I don't know if it was racist. That's a thing too. Sometimes I'm just, you know, I do have this filter on too about, you know, whatever you want to call them, microaggressions or whatever the fuck it is.
I don't know what it's called. Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it, but especially on stage, I don't want to be like thrown by something like that because I don't want to derail my set and this show on this good time I'm having to deal with some small-minded person.
Why are you catering to the dumbass? Right?
Yeah, I don't want to have to go and do that. But sometimes then too, I'm like, oh shit, was that real like weird? And should I have done something about it? You know, and it does feel good sometimes when other people, like I was at the show, and I have this joke about, you know, oh yeah, Vietnam War or whatever, right? And some
hilarious
topic, and some guy in the back, some white dude in the back was he was being kind of rowdy throughout the whole show, but like he said something like, you know, which side were you on, something like that, right? And I stopped for a second just to laugh at it, but I just kept going. But another comedian who's not white, she's black, but she was like she was getting real worked up about just him in general, and I think she like laid into him later on. But it was kind of nice to feel like, oh, okay, like other people kind of have your back on this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't know if other people can feel good or if it's really to kind of like help you out. I'll tell you this for sure, Fumi. 100%, if something racist happened during your set, I would not back you up, Fumi. Okay, I would probably, in fact, if it was a good heckle, I would probably be like, my dude got roasted. Okay, thank you. Yeah. But you know, that's also me. You know, I'm also, you know, that's kind of my way to deal with racism is to like, you want to get racist? Let's crank it up to 10. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah. Or go to like an aesthetic point where you're like small dick jokes are so like hack. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Get on that weird analytical level.
Well, sometimes like I feel, Mike, we were talking about this earlier. I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's because we're in the entertainment industry where we think about this stuff all the time. But like sometimes I'm just like, what is racism? Like, was that racist? Like, is small dick racist, or is it just like a stupid thing? You know, like I don't, and I think
it's racist, Fumi.
It is, but like I don't even like if you derail it. I don't know. Also, like when people say stuff like that, there's the expectation of like something like, oh, he's a comedian, you know, that guy's gonna get got, and then you don't do it. So did I let people down? Did I let people down with this racism? You know, like there's so many like avenues of it that it gets really confusing sometimes. I think, you know.
I feel you. I mean, almost to you know. Dylan, you just mentioned it. It's just such a hack premise. Like racism is real hack. It's like based entirely on hack premises. You know, you never hear a racist come up with like a really cool angle on like.
Yeah.
Boy, you know, like a cool. I would love a cool new
like
joke about
an educated angle.
An educated.
Like whoa.
Vietnamese people are always worshiping sea otter gods, and I'm like, yep, that's you got me.
Damn.
You know, that's this guy did his research. You know, this guy's got a PhD in racism. But so if anything, as a performer, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we've I don't know, gone through it, you know. And I think if anything, you know, a lot of Asian comedians, when they first start off, they usually have not Asian guy comedians, I feel like have a dick joke, right? You always have that, but then it's hard to like do anything with it because it's such a hack premise. It's just like
you know what's frustrating about that?
Yeah,
is I feel a lot of comedians, Asian or not, just male comedians, will sometimes do a joke where they like talk about how small their dick is, just because comedians are. But when I do it, people get extra sad because people think I'm doing it because I'm Asian when I'm just doing it because I'm trying to be a funny guy. You know, like
I'm just trying to be a funny guy.
It's just for the love of the game. You know,
it's just for the love of the game.
It has nothing to do with the race
thing.
But it's like I'm making it political because of my face, because of my flat face, and like that gets frustrating sometimes. It's not like I have a bunch of these jokes, but like, you know, I don't know if you've ever had that. Like anytime you make a joke about you being masculine for whatever, you know, a white guy can talk about being like feminine or whatever that may mean. But if I do it, it's like, oh, he's doing it because of white supremacy and he grew up in it's like, no, dude, I'm doing it because I'm fucking 120 pounds. Like, you know, like.
Hi.
Yo, it's holiday season. I know you love holidays as a good Christian Japanese boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know what you're not good at. You're not good at taking care of your mouth. You abuse your mouth, don't you?
I'm a little abuser. Yeah.
I
I put a lot of things in there that I shouldn't, like White Claw, and that's no good for the
love
mouth.
White Claw.
I love White Claw.
Really love White Claw.
No one should be putting White Claw in their mouths. I think we all know that.
At least not as much as you do, you know? So I think we need to do a better job sometimes of taking care of mouths. And I think what better the way to do that than to give it the gift of better oral care with Quip. The Quip electric toothbrush is loved by over 7 million mouths, and it has all sorts of features. For example, it's got a time sonic vibration thing. So basically what happens is every 30 seconds, it pulses to tell you to switch like where you're brushing, right? Which is what dentists recommend. It's lightweight and sleek, okay? So it's good and tight and compact, okay? And they got all sorts of crazy colors like bright pink, you know, helps you make your bathroom look cool.
And if you're already keeping your mouth in tip-top shape, why not earn some rewards while you're at it? Upgrade your Quip to a new smart motor to track and improve your brushing with the free Quip app. Earn amazing rewards like free refills, products, Target gift cards, and more.
Beyond the brush, Quip also has a whole bunch of stocking stuffers for everyone on your list. For example, there's 2 kinds of floss. There's floss string, then there's a reusable floss pick. There's also refillable gum that's sugar-free, and a refillable mouthwash that's 4 times concentrate, so it's good for you and the planet.
In addition to brush heads, Quip also delivers fresh floss, toothpaste, mouthwash, and gum refills every 3 months from $5. Shipping is free, so you can save money and skip the hustle and bustle of shopping in store during the holidays and into the new year.
Even more good news, Quip is running their best deals of the year, which means you won't be paying through the teeth when you gift better oral health this year.
If you go to getquip.com/Asian right now, on top of their holiday savings, you'll get your first refill free.
That's your first refill free and up to 40% off bundles at getquip.com/Asian.
Spell GETQUIP.com/Asian.
Quip, the good habits company.
Well, you know me, Mike. You know me, right?
I know.
You know.
I know.
If you know this, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm out there.
Yes. You're out there.
I'm out there pounding, and a lot of people are like, "Fumi, why are you so good at pounding?" And by a lot of people,
I always ask that. I don't even believe you.
By a lot of people, I just mean Mike. The secret is, it is Helix Sleep Mattress. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep and pounding.
Everybody's unique and pounds uniquely, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm. Wink, wink. Mattresses. Mattresses great for cooling you down if you get hot, and even a Helix Plus mattress for plus size sleepers. Because hey, man, everybody needs love.
Just go to helixsleep.com/Asian. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to the customized mattress that will give you the best sleep/pound of your life.
They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for free for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will.
Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helix.com/Asian.
That's helix.com/Asian for up to $200 off. And when you're doing your threesomes, 2 free pillows.
Now back to this. Wait, Dylan, can I ask you something? Because I feel like, like trans stand-up comedians. Actually, I don't know who the first one was in America, but I feel like now it's like fairly common. But do you ever see like a hack trans comedian? What is a hack trans joke? What is a joke you see like, oh God. Like you're like misrepresenting. They're
gonna talk about people.
Yeah, I think it's when people like feed into the stereotypes of like, I'm a man in a dress, or talking about like if it's a trans woman like talking about their manliness or something. Haven't really seen that though. I feel like maybe online I've seen it a few times, but I mean there's so few of us. There's not that many. Maybe.
Sure.
I don't know.
I mean,
I remember
when I first I found you because there was a video on Instagram you did about transitioning from an Asian man to an Asian woman, which is going from the least desirable person to the most desirable person.
Yeah, according to OkCupid.
that premise, I was just like, only you could write that, and that is so funny to me.
That was so funny
because it's like it's so true.
Yeah, it's a weird perspective to have because I'm like I didn't start transitioning until I was 30, so I have like a good chunk of time. I mean, it's way easier to match with people and go on dates and stuff. It's sort of like baffling. I mean, it's sort of like what's better, like radio silence or like just total hot dogs in your face.
The other side, right?
This is like the comedy, like
and the answer,
crowd
the
or
answer,
racist crowd.
Yeah.
But the answer is like it's better to have like all these people messaging you and being like no thanks, because like it.
So how do you filter? What is the filter you have then to try to narrow the field? Or
I'm just very shallow, is what I would say.
That's respect.
I'm only dating hotties out here.
Now, do you think is that like just who you are, or do you think there's a part of you that's like trying to, I don't know, like prove something or make up for lost time kind of thing? As in when you were an Asian man, just because you were so like
therapy session right now.
You felt so undesirable. Now that you have all this power, is there like a part of you? Like
that could be a part of it. I haven't really thought about it that much, but definitely. That's definitely an element. Interesting. Good question, Fumi. Well, because like, what would you guys do if suddenly everyone was messaging you all the time? I don't know. Maybe that is how it is for you right now. But
I will say that it's not bad for Asian guys right now. It's pretty good.
Fumi
things have changed.
Things have gotten a little better.
Good. Things have gotten a little better.
It was rough for a while.
Yeah, I feel to kind of like just emphasize the different mindset. I mean, it's different for me. I'm married and all that stuff, but like if somebody messages me on Instagram, I like reply immediately, right? Like it's like, you have like a message request, which I get like one a week, I'm like, and then usually somebody like, hey, can you look over my resume? And I'm like, okay, like, sure.
Wait, what?
It's always like, it's stuff like that, man. It's never like, oh, I think you're really cute. No, it's like, hey,
I'm trying to get into advertising.
I can't figure out this Excel condition format. I'm like, okay.
Can you explain VLOOKUP to me?
Yeah, can you explain VLOOKUP? And I'm like, well, you got to use something else. So, but like occasionally I'll see, a female comedian's Instagram, and it's like 42 requests or whatever, or like tons of like text messages. Shit. And I'm just like, whoa, that's got to be like this whole other thing, I mean, and for me, I'm just like, as soon as something happens,
that's probably what's going on with you right now. You probably have so many people
every day.
What is that life like? You're right. I do see like when I look at like my friends, my female friends looking at their DMs, it's always like 99 plus unread or something, and I have no idea what that life is like because I check mine immediately. I don't even like having that on there, but I'm assuming people do that because there's just an overwhelming flow of DMs coming at you.
Totally. Like in all the dating apps, it's like you have like 99 plus like likes to go through or whatever, like just like constantly.
What does that do to your mind? What does that do to your brain, Dylan?
Feels good, but it's also like a not a very deep good feeling. It kind of wears off. You're like, whatever. Mostly because I'm so picky right now, and I'm old. I can't be fucking around as much as I used to. It's weird. I wish this happened during my 20s, kind of, because I'm like I would have had way more energy to like go and have like more hookups and sort of like meaningless.
Yeah, that's
things.
I do think about.
I'm like too old now, where I'm like I don't. It's not that satisfying to me. It feels kind of bad now. Where I'm like,
yeah, I think about that a lot when like, I'm not flexing, but some girl the other day came up to me after the show and told me she thought I was beautiful, which I've never gotten before.
Hey,
beautiful and exotic.
Are you sure this person wasn't a scam email? You check carefully. Look closely. Yeah. Oh no, it's a scam email. My bad.
Yeah, it's a scam email in person. She was Russian. But I was just thinking, like, to what Dylan just said. I always think, like, man, like, cause like, you know, I tried the open relationship thing, and it was was fun for me. I could do things, and I always think, like, wow, if I was 22 right now, like, I would just be a completely different person if I had access
out
to
there.
This confidence, if I had access
hoeing
to
it up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, well, because you have the option to hoe it up now, whereas like none of me and my Asian friends like did not. We weren't allowed to hoe it up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you right now, Fumi, you know, even if you could, you can't because of your hernia. You can't be hoeing up with a hernia, bro.
Yeah, I can't apply too much pressure.
Yeah, you need to find someone to help you like lay down in bed. You know, like stepping in.
Oh my god, you gave me a hernia just now, Dylan.
Damn.
That was good. I love it.
Okay, you know how we were talking about doctor shit earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a thing I learned because I'm a dumb straight boy. I just learned what what's it called? Trans broken arm syndrome is.
What?
Do you know what that is, Dylan?
No.
Okay, is this some woke shit that like white women made up and that was like a thing? It's funny because the person who told me what this was a straight white woman, so I have no fucking idea.
She's just making shit up.
Okay, this is what it like made sense to me. You can let me know what your doctor experience has been. She was saying that a lot of trans people have a hard time at doctor's offices because of what's called the trans broken arm syndrome, where they attribute everything that's wrong with them to being trans and like taking hormones and stuff like that. So the joke is like, if you can go in there with a broken arm, and they'll be like, it's because you're trans. And similarly, this happens to like people with
fat people,
obese people who like, you know, every condition it's because you're overweight. So is this a thing? Does this happen to you? Is this made up? Is this a woke white woman Karen thing?
Maybe a little bit. I feel like since I was such a sickly child growing up, like I have a lot of experience like talking to doctors and like getting through to them, sort of, or like knowing how to describe what's going on with me, and knowing like all the terms. So I feel like I have an advantage. Weirdly, from like from like knowing how to talk to doctors and like get what you want out of them. The other weird thing though I was gonna mention that we were talking about before was like getting your doctor to like prescribe things, or sort of like where like I'm the doctor suddenly. Like that's how the whole my entire trans experience has been. Was like they're like where I'm like, can I like up my hormones? And they're like, do you want to? And I'm like.
See, it's a lot of if you want things. It's a lot of doctors being like, if you want, we could.
At one point, I found this medication that was like, it was just I was like this medication seems like it could help me, and I did all this research, and I went into the doctor's office and was like, can I take this? And they said the same thing where they're like, do you want to? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, you're the doctor. Like, is it safe?
Do you see like do you see like doctors who like specialize in that kind of thing, like trans bodies? Right. I feel like you have to, right? Like
well, sometimes it's like an endocrinologist who might not know that much about like trans stuff. Right now I have a really great doctor because it's through the like LA LGBT Center, shout out. So they're like pretty great with like knowing about trans stuff, and they're on it. But yeah, it's hormone stuff is weird because a lot of it is just like sort of vague science where they're like, well, these numbers seem too high, but maybe it's fine. And I'm like, is it fine? Like what's happening here, guys?
Oh, that must be so scary though, because I feel like it's like welcomed, but it is still like, I don't know if this is wrong to say. Is it like still considered like uncharted territory? Like, are there truly no experts on this kind of thing, or is it just like?
I think I feel a lot of it does feel like uncharted, and like advocating for yourself and like asking like, I want this, I want to do this, and like doing your own research like online. Yeah. I know I sound like an anti-vaxxer when I say do your own research.
No, but that's crazy to me that we all have to do our own research because you make TikTok videos about like plants talking. How like why the fuck are you responsible for like understanding, you know?
And I'm looking at like I'm looking up the difference between like synthetic and organic like progesterone. And I'm like, look at it, like, and I'm like reading articles and stuff. This is all real.
Oh my God.
Of like, I'm gonna try the micronized version of this medication. I'm like, why do I know all this shit? I don't know. Doctors are weird.
I know you're laughing, but is there part of you that's like a little scared or like feels unsure about this whole process?
No, I mean,
not the trans process, but like just going into the doctor process, you know?
Not anymore. I've been doing it for so long. It's been almost 7 years. So it's gotten easier. I think like, you know, when you're first starting out, you're so like nervous and scared and you're not sure what's going to happen. So you get really like intense about it. Like I need to know everything and these numbers need to be right. So, but then after all this time, I'm like, whatever. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Can I ask you? I got a real specific question about your transition. Is what has your experience been having Asian guy hair to now having Asian girl hair?
That's great.
Because let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. This is an ongoing saga. Okay, I've been trying to grow out my hair. And it's growing. It's growing. As you can see, I don't have a lot, but I used to be zero. I used to shave my head, and you can't really tell on the video, but like, you know, I'm growing it out, and day by day, my wife is falling out of love with me because she hates any hair of mine. She's just like, just shave it.
Wait, why? Why did she hate your hair?
She just really likes me having a shaved head. I think she does.
Hey, Mike, every part of you is beautiful. Okay.
Yes, thank you. But that's not true. But yeah, but I mean, we've had this conversation, but like I see you're playing with your hair a lot, and I have to say I am very jealous. It looks so fun to do, and you have great hair, great bangs. I know that good bangs is a thing. So, you know, like what's that like? Because like, you know, before Asian dudes were dealing with all sorts of trying to get the barber to understand what, you know, a fucking fade is, and now it's like now you got this whole other thing.
Yeah. Well, when I first started, I was 30 and I was getting like the smallest signs of like balding happening, and that was like to just like kick me into gear where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do this shit, because like when you get on hormones, it'll stop like any kind of balding basically.
Really?
Yeah, and in fact, in a lot of
because
like
testosterone is the thing that causes receding hair.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, in like a lot of like balding forums for men, they'll like take some of the same medication that like trans women take.
What the fucking what?
But they get freaked out because sometimes they'll like start to grow like boobs or whatever, and they'll be like, well, I gotta like cut back because I don't want to have tits.
Whoa, that's fascinating.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So that kicked me off, and I'm like, I don't, because my dad is like completely bald.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to be bald. I don't want to be a bald person. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah. I was like,
that's crazy. That's the thing that was like, oh man, I'm balding. You know, it's like, and that was the thing that started it off.
It's called.
When did you know?
It's called. It's called just vanity. You know,
I absolutely get it. 100%. There is no better reason in my mind to do that. But it can continue. Yes.
Yeah. So then I started hormones, and it just stopped. Basically, I had the corners. You know, when it starts in the corners.
Yep.
Going up.
Yep.
It just like stopped, and like some of it grew back a little bit.
That's incredible. Oh my god.
That's great. Wow, I had no idea.
And then I'm mixed.
So
I'm mixed, so I'm Chinese and Mexican and Irish. So I have this sort of like, you know, just wonderful wavy, perfect hair that I don't have to do anything to.
Yeah.
I love it. I love making like cis women upset. Is sort of like another. Because they'll be like, what do you do to your hair? Like, what shampoos are you using? And I'm like, I use Garnier Fructis, bitch. Like the worst.
CVS.
I'm going to the CVS aisle 4.
I use the cheapest shit on the shelf. And that's really satisfying, is when cis women are upset with like how wonderful my hair is. It feels so good.
That.
Yeah, it's great hair. It's great hair. So you just kind of like grew it out, and now you just kind of have. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I'm saying, get on estrogen, Mike. Let that hair flow out.
What is the thing that's supposed to? Fumi, I always remember when I first met you. You used to have a joke about how tofu has like it causes estrogen too.
Soy, like soy sauce.
Soy
has estrogen. So it's like a lot of it. I forget what the joke was. I guess it just makes you more. Scientists were using it as a justification to say that's why Asian people look or like don't have hair or look
that's
feminine.
that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that same guy probably did that OkCupid study. I'll be honest with you. It was probably the same fucking guy.
Honestly, it's because white people like set the standards for what is masculine and feminine. It benefits like white supremacy to like look at other cultures and be like, you're not masculine, you're not feminine,
you're deviating from
true masculinity and femininity look like this, and it's like white people standards.
Right. I will never give up my tofu soup ever. Okay,
that's right.
You can come.
Yeah, Mike could have
come
double,
and take it
Mike
from my cold dead hands.
You don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't give a fuck. So you know what? I'm eating my tofu soup. I'm sorry. You're a real man if you can handle Korean tofu soup. Okay, that is some hot shit. All right, 100%. Fuck you.
You're talking about
Dylan,
sundubu?
not you, Dylan. Yeah, exactly. If you can have,
I love sundubu so much.
Oh, it's so good.
I didn't grow up eating a lot of Korean food, mostly Chinese and Japanese food. And then like it's like a whole new world. It's wonderful.
It's a whole new world, buddy.
Just been
it's a whole new world.
it.
I love it. I do want to talk about this porn thing. We did some research, and it says that we found out. I don't know how that you watch.
I was sneaking under. I was under her bed.
We put a little tracker on your on your Safari, and it says you watch a lot of trans porn because of representation.
Oh, is that what I
think this is. Oh well, it says it here in this research here, so I'm trying to figure that out. But and then no Asian American porn. Gosh, man, there's so much.
Wait, I said no Asian American porn. Wait, what?
No. I wrote that. I wrote that, Mike. I wrote that.
I see.
Okay.
But the
I
first
wanted
part,
to stop there.
but you do watch trans porn.
Yeah.
You feel yourself being represented.
Sadly, it was like one of the first times I saw like trans women, in the world. I don't know, because like, or not in the world, but just like the first experiences of seeing like these like beautiful trans women, and I was like, damn, I want to like look like that. But this was like before they were like TV shows or like celebrities or anything. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that this was my entry point.
That's crazy. Like the first time weird to think that like the first place you might have representation. I think this is kind of true for Asian people too. It's porn. It's in porn. PornHub is the most diverse fucking website in the fucking internet.
I mean, I think that's why like a lot of Asian people, like not non-Japanese Asian Americans, watch a lot of Japanese porn. Because of representation. We didn't know what they were saying, but it's just like, well, it's nice to see like this Asian guy fucking a MILF for once.
It's nice to see. It's nice to see our people getting work.
I mean, I have to say too that this is speaking of Japanese porn, it's just like there's this is gonna sound ridiculous, but there really is so much diversity. There's like all kinds of bodies, all kinds of people, and I'm just like,
they're not all jacked. Yeah, some of them have like
it's all
stomachs,
different kinds of different things, and it makes me sad. I'm just like, man, I wish there was this for Vietnamese people. There's all kinds of beautiful Vietnamese bodies, and we don't have that. So I'm like weirdly happy sometimes. I'm like, damn, I'm so glad that at least there's Japanese porn, because then, you know what I'm saying? Because like otherwise it's just like to what you were sort of saying, Dylan. I feel sometimes when there's Asian people in white porn, it's a very specific kind of Asian look and feel. Does that make sense?
They're gonna put sushi on their bodies and shit.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and. We need representation there too. It sounds kind of crazy.
For sure.
But
I mean, that's why like I really would like to see like there aren't a lot of like Asian American porn.
Dude, I search that now in my Google search terms. I swear to fucking God, I'm putting in like, yo, this person needs to be a product manager at OkCupid, and like, I'm putting in like UC Santa Cruz. You know what I'm saying? I want specifically this person. Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of Asian American women in porn, and I'm sure there's a lot of Asian American dudes in porn. I don't know why they're not fucking each other. They're fucking other race. Like, there's a channel called God, also the porn names are so fucking hacky. There's a channel called East Meets West, but meat is spelled like beef, like MEAT.
I hate this. This is bad.
Straight guy energy.
Straight guy
I love that
energy
porn
right
is
there.
like it's like so liberating and so like degrading at the same time.
Oh my God,
like,
totally.
It's like, wow, like everyone's here and represented, but these situations are like fucking terrible.
Oh no, I'm stuck in the dishwasher or whatever the fuck it is.
So he's like a hot Asian American guy, and he has sex, but like I think he makes it a point to fuck a lot of different people, which I think is fine, but I kind of just want him to fuck Asian people. That's kind of where I'm at with my journey. So it's just there isn't like, I don't know, there's not a lot of like Asian American on Asian American porn. I want like an Eric Chang to fuck a Vanessa Kim, and that's just not happening.
Yes, they went out, they got boba, they're having a nice time.
Aww.
And it's just like
getting an egg puff.
They're getting an egg puff. They're getting an egg puff, and then they're going home and doing all sorts of nastiness.
Where are you gonna put that egg puff, baby? I'm so
want some
full.
sauce on that egg puff? Yeah, it's just.
Oh god!
I want them to get into like a nice Volvo SUV, and that's where the blowjob happens. You know, I just want.
Last night, Fumi told me that there's some big male porn star.
Yes. Owen Gray is his name.
Who recently like released this thing where he was like, guys, like I want to come out as an ally, and I'm gonna start fucking trans women too.
Whoa.
Which I thought was fucking
make
hilarious.
That announcement, but he did make it a thing. Like he does do that now. Yeah.
Which I think is hilarious because it's just like, it's like wow, amazing. Like this guy's like, hey, me and this dick are gonna fuck more beautiful women. You're welcome.
Oh my god,
this guy's so funny because when I first saw the clip, like she was so hot, and I didn't like it. It didn't even occur to me until I like read the comments or whatever. But it is right. Like he is just being like, I'm just gonna have more sex with hot people.
He's getting the Nobel Prize for this, baby. You know, congratulations.
Yeah, wow. I mean, it's like Harry Styles showing up at the Emmys or whatever in a dress, and it's like, oh, like,
whoa, you're a hero.
You know, a lot of people are fucking into that. You know, they're like, oh, he's an icon of like new masculinity. People are comparing him to like.
Dude, it's like white guys doing like the minimal. Or it's like people think it's like a revolutionary. Yep. They're like,
yep,
yeah. Like right. He has a $3,000 Gucci purse, so now he's like an ally. You know,
and there's like actual like people breaking gender stuff. So I don't know.
That's so true, bro.
Wow,
that's so true.
Such a deep discussion on porn. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Do I have any other porn thoughts before we wrap up?
I did have a question. The porn you were describing, were those trans women fucking cis guys, or were they fucking other?
It's sort of both. I don't know. This is sort of like discovering parts of my identity too. Is like seeing this porn out there because I didn't know trans people even existed until my mid 20s. You know, and like it's sad and like I don't know. I'm like it's just like part of my story where I'm like this is like the first place I've seen trans people. I don't know. And like what's possible. The very first trans people I met were these like senior aged, like 6 foot tall, like white trans women. They were like guest speakers at my college. And when I first met them, I was like, oh, that's not me. I'm not trans, because I thought if I transitioned, I would turn into an elderly white woman. Was sort of, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like that was the only like representation I had. I'm like, oh, that's not me. Like I'm not like a 75-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't even think about when you transition in America, there's a whole like race element too. You know, it's not just a gender thing. It's also like now, you know, like that's like a whole conversation that I don't know who you're supposed to fucking talk to when you're like a young person who wants to come out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, but seeing that, I was like, there's no way, like, this doesn't make sense for me, you know? Because that was just like all I could see was like, this is the only trans people in my life. But now it's different. I feel
that's different.
Happy and jealous of like kids coming out today because they have like way more representation, and you know they can like see themselves in media and stuff.
So thank you Pornhub. Thank you
Pornhub.
East meets West.
Check out Owen Gray.
Check out Owen Gray. You know, this is the new civil rights movement, apparently. So here we are.
Oh, I love it. All right, Dylan, thank you so much for doing the podcast. That was amazing. We love you. Where can our fans find you in your work? Tell us.
I'm at dmakes on Instagram and Twitter, and that's also the name of my website, dmakes.com.
And are you performing at any shows soon or anything like that you want people to know about?
I have no shows lined up, guys. LA's kicking my ass here.
We should
come on out to New York and let's hang.
Yeah,
dude, I get you some shows up here.
I actually went to your Hack City show when I visited, and it was great. I had the whole vibe where I'm like, this feels like San Francisco, where it's like,
oh, awesome.
After you're like hanging out with the comedians and like everyone's like chilling. Not like LA. People just fucking scatter here.
Yeah, no.
Fucking LA, man.
After shows, people
charging
just
you
are
money.
like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're telling you how small your dick is. But during and after the show.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
Yeah. So if you wanna, so definitely check out Dee, and she might be coming to New York. So definitely follow her on social media.
Yeah, please check her out.
We're on all the platforms at Asian Not Asian Pod. We also have a TikTok account that we have 80 followers. Please follow us on there. You know, it's crazy. We're trying. Mike and I are doing well independently, but the podcast account is struggling. So please help us out. And then come to our Hack City show, which is going to be December 16th, Thursday.
Yep.
At 7:30 Eastern,
at 7:30.
Union Hall in Brooklyn. Back to
come on out.
We love that venue. So let's sell it out. We hope to see you there. Again, if you're in San Francisco, come see us live on January 22nd and 23rd at SF Sketchfest. Is that it? I think that's it, right?
I think so. Thank you very much, Dylan. One more time.
One more time.
This was
amazing.
Such a delight. I love being on this podcast. So fun.
Yay!
We'll definitely have you back.
We'll definitely have you back, and we'll chill again soon. And hopefully we won't have to pay to go to a fucking amateur comedy show next time. But Anos, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.